What is poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're taking a look at another movie review. Today we're taking a look at Blue Beetle because that's what you guys chose. I gave you 4 options. 3 options were a movie, 1 option was a show. The show was Captain Laserhawk, the movies was Smile and Evil Dead Rise, and Blue Beetle. You guys chose Blue Beetle, so you guys better enjoy this video. Don't worry, the other 3 will be coming just later on. I just wanted to know your guys' opinions on which one you wanted first. So, let's get into this. We have Blue Beetle, which is a movie which came out earlier this year, and one of the best DCEU movies, I think, to date. I think it's really good. I just think it's unfortunate that it came just before the James Gunn reboot, but I did go to see this with my girlfriend, and we both absolutely enjoyed it. It was a movie that I really wanted to go see because Blue Beetle is one of my top 5 favorite DC characters. The Flash, Blue Beetle, Beast Boy, Harley Quinn, and Man-Bat. That's my top 5. But let's get into it. Jamie Reyes suddenly finds himself in a possession of an ancient relic of alien technology called the Scarab. When the Scarab chooses Jamie to be its symbiotic host, he's bestowed with an incredible suit of armor that's capable of extraordinary and unpredictable powers, forever changing his destiny as he becomes the superhero Blue Beetle. So that's the overview, but how the story actually went was Blue Beetle, Jamie was coming back from college and his family was coming to help him, and they all took him back to the beach house, their sort of house, the family house, which they all live in with the mum, dad, grandma, uncle, and sister. And again, it is a very sort of futuristic type city that they live in, but they live on the outskirts, which is again quite poor and again quite normal, just not much future tech going on here. So Jamie and his sister do get a job to help the family pay rent, pay for the building, so then they don't get kicked out, because his dad lost his job and the dad lost his shop or his restaurant. I don't know which one it was, I don't remember, but they're gonna get kicked out if they don't find the money. So Jamie stays home and doesn't go off to do something. He's really upset that his family didn't tell him, but he pretty much forgives them anyway. And they both get a job cleaning the rich people's sort of suite. The sister goes to the toilet, and Jamie sees a pretty hot lady, quotation marks, which is going to be important to the story later. And he sort of follows on and listens to the conversation, and he hears the arguments between this young lady, this old lady, and this big man muscle cybernetic creature that we'll call the Red Beetle. So he then gets offered a job because he was fired by the old lady. The young lady offers him a job, so he goes to that interview. She gives him a hamburger and he returns home. The hamburger is something the old lady found and was searching for a long time, but she stole and gave to Jamie. She told Jamie not to open it, so what does he do? His family peer pressures him into opening it. It then fuses with him and takes him on a joyride around the city. He starts flying, and we get introduced to the Blue Beetle, the woman in the suit, which is basically telling him he's overreacting and basically making sure all the vitals are okay, that he can fly, shoot, get weapons and swords and stuff like that, and he cuts a bus in half and returns home. He then passes out, and he's naked. The lady arrives at the house, and, he goes to pick up the lady and brings him back to the house, and then he shows the lady, and she's like, oh shit, you opened it, why did you open it, I didn't know this was happening, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't know. They're all shouting at her, she apologizes, she said she didn't know, and they go to her old house, her dad's house, go to the basement, and he was the original Blue Beetle. They go with his uncle, which is really cool. I like his uncle, one of my favorite characters in the entire movie, but we'll get onto that later. They then go into the Blue Beetle base, and they basically tell him there's no way to get it off unless they kill you. So his family's in trouble, so he flies back to his family, saves them, but his dad has a heart attack, and he gets captured, and then the pretty girl, the uncle, the sister, the mum, and the granny go to the Blue Beetle lab, get in the Blue Beetle, mech, and fly over to this sort of Alcatraz island where Blue Beetle is being kept. Blue Beetle is almost killed to sort of get the scarab and put the energy of the scarab into the Red Beetle, which the old lady is manipulating his mind and manipulating his opinions. And there is another scientist there who's pretty kind, pretty nice. And he has a near-death experience, and he sees his dad in the afterlife who talks him through everything. And it's a really trippy scene and one of the best scenes in the movie. Blue Beetle then gets rescued by the kind scientist, but it's too late. Red Beetle is already in action and kills the nice scientist and starts hunting Blue Beetle down. The other guards around the sort of city or around Alcatraz are fighting the sister, the grandma, and the mother, and the uncle. The sister gets kidnapped, which then leads Blue Beetle to run after, and the pretty girl also goes missing. And it's all confusing. Everyone's looking for each other in this big mansion. But Blue Beetle eventually finds Red Beetle, and they have an all-out brawl. Blue Beetle gets way too cocky for himself and gets overwhelmed by Red Beetle. And then they sort of stop fighting, and Blue Beetle's like, hey, why are you doing this? Takes the upper hand and looks at Red Beetle and says, hey, you don't have to be the bad guy, you can be the good guy. So he grabs the old lady and takes her into the now burning Alcatraz, where they both die. Blue Beetle then goes home, and the pretty lady rebuilds the sort of casa, their house, and makes sure they're all okay, and Blue Beetle then flies off with the pretty girl into the sky, and that's where the movie ends. There is a secret post-credit scene where her dad, who is allegedly dead, puts a signal through saying, hey, I need your help. Is anyone there? Please help me. I'm trapped. I'm in trouble. Someone help me. So there is going to be a Blue Beetle 2, but we don't know if it will be in James Gunn's DCEU or if he's going to reintroduce Blue Beetle. I don't know. I'm not aware. But the suit looks freaking insane. I think the suit is really cool. I just don't like the eyes. The eyes are what throw me off. Everything else about the suit is pure perfection. It is one of the best suits out there, and they made it a real suit that he could wear. It's not CGI like Spider-Man's or Iron Man's. It is really there, and it looks incredible. The helmet's a real thing, and he was running around wearing that suit for a while throughout the film, and it looks insane. And I love Blue Beetle's powers, how he has a sword, and he can turn his hands into guns, and he has wings. And there is a figure that I want, which is on sale on Amazon, of Blue Beetle, which I do want to get, and I do believe it's on its way as well. So expect a review on that. But when I first heard about this film, my hype was insane. I love Blue Beetle. I was first introduced to Blue Beetle through the Lego games, and then Injustice, and then I started reading his comics, and it is incredible. I have 2 Blue Beetle comics, which I need to read on the channel, but other than that, his suit is incredible. The animation and CGI mixed with the reality of his suit looks really cool, and the cast members are really great. There is a pretty big cast with 5 main members of the family, and Granny really shined when they were at war on Alcatraz. She had a minigun, and it was so fucking cool. She absolutely rocked that shit. It was unexpected, and it got a few laughs in my cinema that I went to, genuinely because of how unexpected it was, because she was quite an old lady, and we didn't expect her to absolutely rock and roll. The sister was the snarky, emo kid that was just moody and miserable and angry all the time, which was pretty generic stereotype, but she did get a few laughs, and she was quite funny. The mum, I think, was the least, valuable character in the story. I don't think she added that much to the story compared to everyone else. The dad died because he had heart problems, and he helped Blue Beetle in the afterlife, and when Blue Beetle was dying, he guided him back to his body and told him what he had to do, and he believed in him, and he knew what he had to do, and it was just that death which propelled the character forward. The generic sort of superhero trope. Peter Parker's Uncle Ben, Batman's parents. The parent has to die to make you become the hero. Or a close family member has to die to make you become the hero. The uncle was funny throughout the entire film. He hated the government, he hated tech, he built his own shit to go against the government because he thought there were spies and the pigeons were spies. He was a crazy dude and he was funny about it, and I do believe he was like a fan favorite character, so I do hope he comes back for Blue Beetle 2 or Blue Beetle the reboot in James Gunn's universe. Again, some of the shots were really cool, some of the fights were pretty interesting, and I like how they didn't go... It felt very similar to Venom, but again, that was just in the way that the bad guy is literally just another Venom. They took... I don't know how far they can go with that, like to make it not seem like Venom when the bad guy is literally just you. And they do that with loads of different superhero movies. It's not just Venom, but because they were both symbiotic and sort of technically part robot as well, it sort of seemed very similar to Venom, especially when it chose Jaime and they had to kill him to get it out. And it wasn't as crazy as Venom. Like, it wasn't making him do things that he didn't want to do. He was pretty much in control the entire time. But, again, I couldn't help but think about Venom whilst watching this, but that's just because their power sets are so similar. But, again, I think it is an incredible movie and one that you should go watch. I do believe it is on HBO Max, if I am not mistaken, but I think it's an incredible movie. I'm definitely going to give it 8 out of 10. It's not a perfect movie, but it is still a really good movie, and it had loads of good scenes in it, and it had a load of good moments. It had a load of sentimental moments as well. I didn't cry at any point in the movie. I wasn't that attached to the dad. I wasn't really that sort of fond of the dad, if I'm being honest. I wasn't really had that connection to cry when he died. But it did have some tense moments, a lot of funny gags as well. He is quite an upbeat superhero, and you do see him sort of quite happy and positive throughout the whole film, but towards the end, we do see an angry side to him when he is fighting the Red Beetle. He does get quite angry, and he does want to kill, but because the Blue Beetle sort of Scarab learned not to kill, it was basically telling him, no, wait, listen, we don't kill, we protect. So it was a really good moment of sort of the reverse roles where the Scarab's telling him, hey, no, come back, calm down, that's too far, because that's what he was like at the beginning of the movie. So again, it was that full circle cycle there, which is really good, and we'd love to see from movies, but I don't know how to put it. It's just... It is one of the better DCEU movies, and I'm not sure if that's just because it's one of my favourite characters, or if it is anything to do with Blue Beetle, but again, it is an 8 out of 10 movie. It's not perfect, but it is wonderful, and I do recommend you go watch it. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a nice day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe, and it is an incredible movie. Go watch it. Go watch it now. Also, there is 2 links in the description of this video, which I would be greatly appreciative if you could go and check out, because it is Thankmas, which Jacksepticeye does every year, and I'm helping out with Thankmas this year, so if you can donate down in the description below, please do. If you can't, that's completely fine. You can help in other ways by sharing this video, spreading awareness, sharing the link, and basically just getting the word of Thankmas out there. But there is also another link which leads you to all my different socials, if you do want to sort of go around and see everything else that I have to offer. But again, Thankmas is really important, and I do hope you can check it out. But I don't ask you guys for much, so if you could do this one little thing for me, it would be greatly appreciated. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. See you all next one. Have a nice day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe.